Hello and welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This is my after-match reaction from Dundalk 2, Shelbourne 1 at Tolka Park. Obviously Shelbourne's toughest test to date against the champions, and I suppose you could see why they were champions tonight, but I'll go straight into it. We came into the game knowing that the game was going to be a sellout tonight, and it was great seeing Tolka sold out and just, you know, fans singing, both sets of supporters, the stadium full. It was just great to see, and it was great to have those nights back at Tolka once again. And even Vinnie Perth touched on it with Paul Tierney after the game, which is another video you can check out after you watch this. But it was just great to see Tolka bouncing the Shells fans in their absolute numbers. And in the first few minutes, Shells started really brightly. Gary Deegan was flying into challenges constantly. But Dundalk showed their class as well, you know, many a times throughout the game. And I suppose getting into the first goal, make it nice and quick, this after-match reaction anyway, because I'm not too happy obviously after losing, but calling it down the middle, so this is a non-biased after-match reaction. But great play down the left-hand side by Michael Duffy, cut into the box, and he was about to pull the trigger and probably was going to be a goal. And Gary Deegan come across and made a great challenge, and he was flying into challenges all night. In my opinion, was the best player on the Shelbourne side the whole night. He was just absolutely mincing absolutely everyone, but he put the ball out for a corner, and then the ball came in from the corner and it was flicked onto the back post, and Andy Boyle was there to tap home. You know, a lot of people around me were saying that the defending could have been better. From where I was sitting, you couldn't really see what happened from the flick on, so you don't know who was really at fault. But second ball's there, maybe from a defensive point of view, you should be looking at that, but the attacker's always going to come more alive in that situation in the box because they're trying to get the goal. But yeah, 1-0 at that point, and then the game kind of fizzled out a bit. There wasn't that much going on, there wasn't too many chances, and then Michael Duffy got a free kick at a point where I had even just tweeted that nothing really of note had happened, and then straight away from that great free kick whipped in by Michael Duffy. And a lot of people said that Brady should have came and claimed it, but I don't know, other people around me were saying that defenders could have got. I'd have to watch it back. In the moment, I probably thought the keeper could have came and claimed it, but I'd have to watch it back and just see what the replay shows me, whether it was the defender's fault or not. But Pat Hoban gets in there to open his account for the season, so it'd be interesting to see what way he ends up with goals come the end of the season. But as usual, he's there with the winner for Dundalk, unfortunately. We're going to half-time 2-0 down, and a lot of people were thinking the weather was horrendous, and a lot of people were thinking, okay, it's going to be a case of Dundalk absolutely slaughtering Shells in the second half. And it wasn't the case. Shells came out and did quite well. Ian Morris obviously had a lot to say at half-time, and they came out and showed the fighting spirit that got them up last season. And yeah, I mean, you know, some really top quality players in there. Kilduff, Deegan, even Luke Byrne. You know, all these players, they've Premier Division quality and experience, and they showed it tonight. You know, it looked like Dundalk could have went on and hammered Shells, and they didn't. Shells came really back into it. Obviously got that great goal. Gary Deegan, wait till you watch the goal. Gary Deegan takes it on the chest, fires it home with his left foot in off the post. It was a great goal. And from that point, it was just Shells were really pushing on with the momentum, and I think Dundalk really found it hard, and I think any team would have found it hard tonight. The crowd were right behind Shells, and Dundalk weathered the storm. They brought on a couple of subs. Their only real attacking sub was Dan O'Kelly on for, I think it was Cam Smith, and then Shells made some substitutions. They brought on Ryan Brennan, Sean Quinn for Gary Deegan, because he was probably going to get sent off for a second yellow, and they were trying to go for it. Carl Shepherd probably had the biggest chance I could probably think of when he went one-on-one. It was a long ball over the top, and he had his back to goal as he was running in, so he was kind of backpedaling, and he went to turn and kind of volley one in, half volley it, and it hits off straight off Rogers. He pretty much just collides with Gary Rogers, and he makes a save. But I mean, Dundalk showed their class tonight and showed why they are champions. They had to grind out results against a really good Shelbourne side tonight. I thought Shells genuinely, as a fan, I thought Shells were, you know, looked excellent all over the park. The pitch obviously wasn't great to play on, and the wind and rain wasn't great, I'd imagine, as a player. But you only really noticed it when you were down pitch side, say at half time, you went to the toilet or got a coffee or whatever. You'd only really have noticed how bad the actual conditions was, because when you're up in the stand, it didn't really look as bad as it was when you were actually down at ground level. But yeah, I mean, as I said, Ian Morris, to his credit, really rallied the troops and tried to get that goal. Then Gartland and Leahy came on for Dundalk, and again, as I said, they showed that the champions, they shut up shop, and at that point it was Dundalk got the victory. Ultimately, now, like as I say, Dundalk, they're the champions for a reason. Shells can take many positives out of this game though, because they put it up to the champions, and you know, look to cause them problems a lot of the time. And the players that Ian Morris has recruited and brought in, I think, really are going to start doing really well. Shane Farrell was the other sub. I just left out there by mistake. But all in all, I think it's positive for Shells to take on to the next game against Finn Harps now on Monday. Dundalk have 2 wins from 2, and Paul Tierney caught up with Vinnie Perth to get his reaction, and also Gary Deegan. So make sure you check that out as well. But this has been my after match reaction, just short and sweet. Great to see nights like that back at Tolka Park, and credit to Dundalk. Well done on a comprehensive victory. Thanks for watching. We'll speak to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like the video.